the meeting. Donna, is anybody else coming, or is it just
We're doing the
you
percentage.
guys?
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we come forward?
Oh, hardly
Welcome.
just, you say just.
Well, no, it's just that.
I know.
Yeah.
It's only for the agenda. You're not on the garden.
I'm supporting
So
that.
roll.
Garden supports, the garden supports are really, if you've ever been to Pete's, you know.
Cheering back when appropriate.
Yes. So, did you all receive
Yep.
the documentation, photographs, et
Yep.
cetera, that we sent? So really what we wanna do is just give a little background on how we got here and take questions from you. We're not gonna deliver over everything we just sent you. But first of all, we want to introduce ourselves to make sure you both are all knowing where we're coming from. We both are part of the Canterbury Garden Club, which is about 90 members strong. And when there was discussion at a meeting about doing something for the community and thinking about the tricentennial, we thought the municipal garden would be good. And we know Beth has made efforts there and asked us about it. And so that's sort of the approach that we took. Mary started out by doing some measurements and such, but she said, this is not in my wheelhouse, and we kind of raised our hands and said, it's in our wheelhouse and we'll take care of it, so thank you, Mary, for your background work. And we really want to take an ecological approach to this because of the world, the country, the state, whatever, we're all in a biodiversity crisis. There's a lot of loss of insects and birds, and we see this space as being a harsh environment. You've got pavement, heat, salt runoff and that kind of thing. And it would, I think, bode well for it to have a lot of native plants in it because they can deal with those kinds of pressures. And we remember in the past, or I do at least, Vanessa did not live here, but when I ran the Cloverbud group, the young 4-H kids, we used to go in there every year and plant sunflowers against the background. But the weed pressure was insane. You had to go in and water it. Then they grew huge, and we had to stake them. And it, as a volunteer group like that, with a bunch of little kids and busy families, it didn't always, get taken care of very well. And so what we've done is looked at plants that will adapt really well to this location. And I also remember, and Ken, I'm curious from you, do you remember when, in the years when they did not mow the land around the municipal center? How many years should they do that for? Just a few, it seems?
I think it was probably either 2 or 3 years.
The first 2
When they-
years.
The first couple of years when they put the big plow out there with the highway department. I
Okay,
think that's when they started doing that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you mean when they started mowing after
When they started mowing after they put that,
put the
once they
plow-
put that big plow out there with the sign on it says Canterbury Highway,
Yeah,
that's when they started mowing everything.
yeah,
And then they put the Smokey the Bear sign out a couple
Oh, yeah.
years after that.
yep, okay. Cause I don't know the number of years, but I know you lived across the
Yep.
street from
Yep.
that, so. And I guess I'm just gonna give a little bit about my background, and Vanessa can tell you about hers and how we've come to this. I'm really focused on the meadow part of this, and my background is that I've been a master gardener for about 16 years now, and natural resource steward, which is both volunteer programs with cooperative extension. So that's where a lot of my training comes from. The last 5 years, I've done my advanced master garden work in pollinators and native plants. And, all this training is research-based through the university system, using best practices. But I've also incorporated a lot of what I've learned at our place at Petals and the Pines and converted a lot to natives. And done a lot of this meadow management in an area on our property as well. And I'm even growing natives from seeds now to expand the native population. I'll let Vanessa introduce herself.
I'm Vanessa Crofton. I've lived in Canterbury since September of 2024, so I'm quite new to the area and to New England. We arrived and it was my first visit to New England. So I am a designer at garden. I've got my training was all in the UK though, with the RHS, and this would be my first sort of public space that I get the privilege of maybe helping out. That's it.
Yes.
That's all for me.
Yeah.
For now. That's all.
And so we kind of looked at this jokingly. We said, This looks like a wild and styled proposal, so I'm the wild and she's the styled. So she did all the work on the matrix garden part, and I've got the information about the meadow. So that's, the matrix garden is more her wheelhouse and the meadow is more mine, so I guess we were just probably open it to questions.
When you say matrix gardens, you mean basically those two big beds, or the beds
Borders, yes.
right
the
up,
building.
right up the building, yeah.
Yeah,
And we discussed when we went over and had a look, there's a strip between two areas of pavement that is included in some of the drawings that I did, as well as that the area that we surmised might have potential for as a picnic area for people.
The one that's got the big drain in it between the fire department and
Yeah.
the main building, yeah.
Yeah, so the numbers of plants, which you didn't receive, I'm sorry about that. The numbers of plants and the species are for all of those spaces. There wouldn't be anything in addition to what you have on this matrix. It would be using them and distributing them evenly as called for in the variety in the various spaces.
And do these plants in the matrix go in the meadow as well, or this is just for
Some of them
Some of
would,
them.
yeah, the trees would not, nor the shrubs. But the perennials would probably appear should you stop mowing in the first instance. The species we selected are very eco-region specific. So we're in the northeastern highlands, or eco-region 58, I believe, and so they all are incredibly precisely located to be suitable to where we are.
and what we remember too from when, well, what I remember, so you weren't here, but I keep telling Vanessa about the days when there was the meadow there was a lot of really great plants that came up that are in that seed bank. And even though it's been getting mowed for so many years, there were seeds in that seed bank that if left unmowed, there's a lot of really good pollinated plants that will come up. And what we thought would be to, if we're allowed to do this, is to evaluate what's there. And if we see a need of, like, if there's a wet area where things aren't growing, that maybe we could get some Joe Pye weed in there or something, just over the years, we could supplement with some plants, to make it
Yeah,
a stronger meadow.
if I remember, there's gonna be some limited, I'm gonna call it mowing that takes place, right?
Yeah, so what we thought would be best, and the way it was done before, I remember there's quite a setback, right?
Yep.
And it would be more important now on the east side for the setback, because you'd wanna be behind those signs, right? So the plow and the sign that you see as you first come in.
So you'd go up to the red line.
Yeah, and I think there was,
Yeah.
taking pictures, right?
Yes, you did.
You did.
Yep.
And that's just rough,
Yeah.
that was just me with a
Yeah,
computer
and
tool.
I guess my question is, how often is it gonna be mowed and who's gonna mow?
Well, I guess whoever you have mowing now.
Okay,
yes.
You thought that.
So we'd hire a company to mow the sides of the roads once a year,
Okay,
and we do half the town one year and half the next year.
yeah,
The contractor also is hired by the Conservation Commission to mow the Hilda Field or the
Robert S. Pike
Robert Pike
Conservation
Field.
Area.
And he also does some mowing down in Riverland.
okay.
But we would most likely hire him to, I mean, I can't imagine it'd take a couple hours to mow that. Both, but I think what you said, you mow it one side one year and one side the next year or something like that.
Yeah, so during the season, you would probably still want to mow the area in front of the red line
Right.
every couple weeks like you normally do?
Yeah.
And is that this contractor who does
No,
that?
no, our highway department mows,
Okay.
with a zero turn and
Okay,
they're the ones that mow the lawn.
okay. So it just would be a matter of meeting with them and say, hey, let's figure out a line.
Sure.
And that's what you mow all summer long and let everything behind it grow.
Yep.
On this side over here, the thought
The
was to
Smokey the
have-
Bear side,
The what?
the Smokey the Bear
The
side.
Smokey the Bear side, to have, this is as you come in.
Yep.
From Baptist Road, and to have a path somewhere, at
Yep.
least, what's the width of the mower?
think it's like 48 inches. It might be 4 feet, it might be 40 inches.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so doing a path of that maybe to, but wide enough that people can walk through it. The one thing that some people might be concerned about is ticks. And so that's why having a wide walking path is really important when you do a meadow like this. But to have it go down and then loop around and come back, and I think you still want to mow around the solar panels, is that
Absolutely,
correct?
yeah.
And that would be important.
Yeah.
But just so there'd be a path that you could walk around, and again, there could be a setback here, so once that line is done, like, I know they've already mowed once at least, right, this year? So let it grow a little bit more, and then when it gets a little taller, get out, mow it again, figure out the lines, and just stay on those paths and setbacks for the summer.
Yeah.
The idea about mowing everything down, okay, the reason why we do half one year and half the other is because you've set up a banquet for the bugs, the birds, and everything by having all these plants grow, and if you come in September and go, oh, time to mow you down, you've just taken away everything that they've been acclimated to, and now they've got to find another source for their food.
Yeah.
So what we recommend in the mowing world is, you can do half and half, some people do by thirds their mowing, but I think this would be easier, half and half. So in the fall, and I'm talking late fall, like wait until the last flowers are done blooming, go and mow everything down on one side, but you leave the other side standing, which means people are gonna say, oh, that looks messy, how come it hasn't been mowed down? But the birds will be going in and eating the seeds from those plants and so on and so forth. And then any living insects that are in there, which will be thousands, will have a chance to winter over. And then probably, what are we now in the first week of May? So probably like mid-May, then you could go in, mow it all down, and everything will just start to grow up again. And then you could alternate, so the next fall you could mow that side and then do the other one the next year, or however you want to do it.
Well, and you also said mowing will keep the trees and the other
That's-
stuff down.
That's one of the important reasons for mowing, because any acorns that get in there, you'll have all kinds of oak trees, you'll have everything coming in, and it keeps tree species out,
Yeah.
so,
And that's what the Conservation Commission does down here on
Right.
Pond Road.
right.
Last year, they mowed the whole thing because they had a lot of invasives that they were trying to control.
Right, yeah, I've been watching that, and there are a few invasives around this meadow, I've walked around it, and maybe we could do more of an in-depth look and see about doing an invasive pull or whatever, but, that, it is important to keep that control.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have a question about right around the building. The foundation for that is on a slab, but they did styrofoam insulation on the outside of the slab. We have had ant problems, and that's why we put the stone up against it. And I just wanted to make you guys aware of that there have been some problems with ants up there. And that's why we put all that inch and a half gravel up against the side of the building.
Okay.
So, I know in the front, there's some daffodils planted in there.
Yep.
But that was all, they tried different things at different times, but ended up, we had some problems there, so they went with the stone and just the daffodils.
Yeah, and the daffodils were something we talked about, they need dividing, I mean, they've just really gotten big, but we could incorporate that into the matrix planting.
Yeah, I just wanted you to be aware that we have had some problems there, that's all.
Yeah.
Because I don't know whether it's because of the styrofoam on the outside or what it is, but there have been some ant problems there.
Okay, and would you want, I know in the rocks there's a lot of pine seedlings.
There's all kinds of stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I saw that.
It's like a
when we went up.
carpet of pine.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, cause we could bring a garden club and help clean that out if you like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it would be appreciated.
I think anything, I mean, my original, this is 1,000% more than that I thought we were going to get from the conversation with the garden club. This is amazing. But, it's just when you walk up to that building, which is a big building in town and, it's part of the face of the town and it's, even if it was just cleaned up and you did nothing else, it would be huge. To plant just by the building one step further, to have a beautiful meadow, even better with trees. I mean, this is huge.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, Vanessa and I talked when we walked up there a little bit too, part of the other reason for that stone up next, you're gonna have to be able to get up to the building to paint it and maintain it, so there's going to have to be allowances.
Yeah, you
Not
wouldn't want
putting
anything less
plants
than,
in, yeah.
no, certainly not. You wouldn't want anything less than really 18 inches bare minimum, but in California, they're recommending 5 feet now. Of space between buildings, but that's for other California problems. So, for me, I would have 24 inches at least. And so the drawings don't reflect as well as I would like the allowance of 24 inches. And so this would take back some of the stone that's come forward and probably emerged through heating and such.
Yeah.
But to not remove any of that and return it to where it was meant to be in the first instance, it is important because yes, you want to be able to access the facade of the building. You want to be able to see if there's sort of any insect or rodent pressure, which we noticed that there was, particularly in this area where the drain is. And you would never want to get in the way. That would only introduce more pressure to have anything planted too close. And that's why we've chosen the shrubs that we have, really, is because we can keep them off the building. It's aesthetically pleasing as you come up to see the building frame, but it's not going to ever touch the building. And the shrubs are very easy to maintain, both for height and for width. Also, we have the benefit of this being the south view, so they're going to reach naturally for the car park versus backwards. And trees would offer you a bit of shade. They're not going to change anyone's electricity bills, but they do break up sight lines, which is nice. And it would offer some shade on that west side eventually.
And they're far enough away that snow dump, how far out does the snow dump go from that?
Yeah, the trees definitely would be in there, an investment, of course, so you wouldn't want to risk that. The shrubs, there's a question mark over that. I haven't worked a great deal in places where we have the level of snow that we do, and with this roof being south facing, that is a concern. But with I think the overall depth that we had was certainly on the east side of the building, gave us another at least 4 feet. So on that side where you see the two sort of drawn in, they would be safe from snow, I would imagine. This one, not so sure about that. I'd have to do some measuring.
That wouldn't be bad. If you kept it 3 feet off, 4 feet, you'd probably make it.
Yeah, I would think so.
Where the snow piles up, Vanessa, if you hold up that photo again.
This one.
The to the left where the fire department garage is, where the buildings,
Yes.
the roof, they shed, we sometimes will have several feet of snow in there.
I
So
can
just
do
keep
that.
that in mind as
Yeah. So the species that we chose for the one woody shrub there is well adapted to a lot of wet, but it can also take a lot of dry. The root run is suitable for a contained space as well. Doesn't go wild, which is unusual for trees that do well in water.
Yeah.
But you've also got that drain that needs to be considered. You
Yeah.
don't want anything wrapping around and causing any future
Well, no, and speaking of
problems.
that drain, what do we have to, I mean, it's now completely full of mud. And it's not doing anything. What needs to be done with that anyway?
It needs to get pumped.
Yeah, well, I mean, does it need to be built up? I mean, I've seen things with, I don't know how it still works, how do we keep it still working and not filling up continually?
You have to maintain it.
Yeah.
You have to maintain it. That's one of the things that has to be done.
Are the daylight over here, or does it go behind? Because I know that the pond is here, where all the cattails sort of come up.
So that drain that's in that little alcove, I guess you'd call it, that is where the water from the interior of the buildings, the floor drains go into that.
Right.
And then there's actually a tank, and then when water builds up to a certain level, it does run across underneath the parking lot and go over towards where the solar panels are.
Right, okay. So
And they
in that
have to
case,
take care of
the
the,
tree wouldn't be a good idea.
yeah.
Yeah, so we would probably omit that. But the other plantings would be suitable. But yeah. yes, no trees in that case.
And I mean, it might be great for roots and everything else, but it's gonna get dumped on by 8 feet of, everything dumping off the roof, it's just gonna.
Yeah, the
squish.
perennials will all tolerate that
Yeah.
very well, but a tree, I think, is just a little bit risky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does this all get funded?
That is-
The big questions.
The Yankee funding.
Yankee funding, okay.
Yeah, I think the garden club is enthusiastic
Yeah.
about raising grants from city.
I may just interject.
Sure.
When we were meeting and discussing this, a bunch of hands went up, oh, I have that plan, it's everywhere, I can share that, so there will be freebies
Good.
Good.
for some of the.
Good.
We've already reduced the cost by eliminating our trees.
There we go.
There you go.
I like the way you think.
In
Right.
15 minutes.
She did some calculations on what it would cost, this proposal that we're giving you, what it would cost if it were to be hired out.
Yeah, it would be around $9,000, I think, for site prep and planting. That would presume bringing in mulch and probably more stone. So it will definitely come in less than that with it being volunteer supported. And also you can take it a phased approach, which I quite like, being new to the area especially, that appeals to me. But starting out with these beds at the front especially, you can start with the sort of the ground cover and grass layers. And those species actually, I think all of them don't require a period of cold before they can germinate. And so I just so happen to have the seed on order. And I will be using it in my own garden if it doesn't appeal. But it can all be started, germinated, and potentially planted by the autumn. And that could be phase 1. And then we can see how that goes. Perennials, maybe the following spring, maybe the following autumn for the highest success rate. But I wouldn't propose chucking it all in straight away and seeing what happens. It is
And harness the power of 4-H to go pick out all the zillion little pine trees.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
Mark can use them to plant 300
Yeah,
of,
300.
there's probably 300 little pine
Oh,
trees.
yeah.
2,000.
He actually might want
He may
that
want them
potted
because
up
not
for-
everything germinated.
Right,
So-
right, I will check with him. But the other part of this too is you think about the meadow is really a cost savings because you're not gonna have to pay somebody to mow the entire field every week. They're just gonna be doing the setbacks in the paths.
Yeah.
And which is gonna reduce the mowing of that area by probably at least half. Do you know how long it takes someone to mow that?
The road agent, I talked to him the other day, and he said usually an hour to 2 hours, depending on, the skill level. We have different people mowing, so,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Couple
So-
hours probably.
Yeah, so there is gonna be a little cost savings there, and with fuel costs going up and everything, it's not just the labor, but the fuel too, and so there is that. And as far as, as Vanessa said about a phased approach, that the first thing is to go in and, clean out some stuff. And we can take care of, subdividing the daffodils and all that kind of stuff. The grass we can get in this year, get that matrix started. The idea with the matrix is that you have these grass plants set out like as a grid. And we wanna use the strawberry, which is a low growing like a carpet wild strawberry that will act like a mat to prevent weeds. And then the larger perennials would get put in between too. And so this is not an area where we plan to have to buy mulch and put mulch in. And this will all just be packed in native plants. They can grow a lot closer together than our traditional perennials, so.
They prefer it actually.
Yeah, they do prefer it, so we can really pack it in, and the only watering that's really needed is when you first establish any new young plants, and after that, they're pretty much on their own. They're used to, dealing with drought and things like that.
So it'll end up looking somewhat like the garden behind the library, except not quite so aggressively tall as you.
I think what's happening there, to that point, actually, it's a really good example of a native planting that has been very successful to the point where it can't even stand up anymore. It's just so enthusiastically growing. And that's what happens when you garden in a more conventional way with native plants, is they put on a lot of top growth at the expense of their root systems. and they get very tall and they're so happy that they've left. And so you can prevent that by
And
starving
they'll
them of fertility, which I think that the conditions of the building that site would be nicely clean soils, nice and rocky actually, they prefer that. And to not be too enthusiastic about watering, really at the planting stage. And if you have drought, we are in a drought, so there is that to consider. But I mean, more than every other week, I think would be to the planting's detriment rather than benefit. I would say on the point of mulch though, a really handy energy saving site preparation technique would be to put on some arborist chips. I haven't seen a great deal of perennial weeds up there. I've only seen annual, and so you could probably get away with a 2 to 3 inch spread of arborist chips that wouldn't cause the fertility to go up too much and therefore cause the problems that might ensue if you have very fertile soil with these plants. And may be able to get them donated. I appreciate though that this is a working environment and we can't have piles of things sitting around when we can get to them. And also access and sight lines and all of that are critical. So if we could arrange with local people who happen to be chipping to, I almost took a load today in anticipation of this meeting, and then couldn't because I didn't have any room in my parking lot. But yes, to have those dropped as close to those beds or somewhere out of the way would definitely facilitate the site preparation for autumn planting. That would be a one-off.
Yeah.
Which is, just to be clear, is different from the mulch I was talking about. I agree with the arborist chip.
Yes, no,
It's
no
different.
bark.
No bark
Would be-
mulch or anything like that, the colored mulch or anything.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
And just to be clear, arborist chips are just wood chips.
Yes,
From
any
any pine or
trees
anything.
or trees,
Okay.
shrubs, that sort of thing, woody material,
All right, I think we're about at the end of
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
Comments, other than? Yeah.
That's my comment.
Yeah,
2 thumbs up.
yeah, thumbs up.
I think it sounds great. I don't know how we help other than let the highway department know what not to mow.
Would you like me to meet with whoever does the mow?
The best, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you just, we can email and you can let me know who and when?
Yep.
And I can be in touch and I can take care of that part. And-
Sure.
Yeah, I'll bring up something that gives it more face, timeline encouraged, various ways to get.
Look forward
various
to seeing.
Well, if you're going to be I don't know if you're going to be working with the Tricentennial Committee at all on this, or if they're going to be doing any fundraising, certainly.
I think it should, yeah.
Get it out in the newsletter.
I think the garden
Yeah.
club, we haven't talked about that phase yet, but
Yeah.
we can certainly look into it, but by doing a lot of our own growing and things like that, the money we'll probably need more would be for like the trees and shrubs. But we'll find ways to raise money.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for persevering and coming back after the last.
Oh, yes. We're sorry.
No, I think you're sorrier than we are. Don't worry about it. Thank you. Glad to see the project progressing.
Oh, gosh.
I'm gonna go because they.
Mr. McGill?
Yeah.
Yes, why don't you come on down? So welcome. I know that you're here about your timber tax, as I understand it. Why don't you explain to the remainder of the board, I looked at the documents you supplied.
Right.
If you would, just tell us why you're here.
Let's start from the beginning, if I may.
Yeah.
Mike McGill, my mother Mary McGill.
Hi.
228 Laurel Road in 1979. Property had never been logged, except for some piecemeal here and there, but never thoroughly logged. All things considered, my father, if you looked at the sheet, my father should have logged it 25 years ago based on the amount of pulp that it produced. You don't know if a tree is healthy until you cut it down and you look at the butt, and then you can diagnose the tree and see the health. But that being said, mom is still here, dad is in a facility, beautiful facility in Franklin, with severe dementia, doesn't even know his name. About 2.5 years ago, I started this logging. 2.5 years ago, I started this logging venture, wanting to learn. I like to learn. First thing I did was I called Tim Flurry, Merrimack County Forester, invited him out to the house, and he showed up. And then what I expected from him is shake hands, 20 minutes of greeting. He'd walk out in the woods, be back 6-8 hours later. You got X amount of this, X amount of this, X amount of this, X amount of this. Good luck finding your reputable logger. No, in reality, he spent most of the time around the kitchen table. First thing he tried to do was talk us into putting the property in conservation. With all due respect, hard no. My mother's 86 years old. She doesn't need to look out her bedroom window or her bathroom window, see strangers walking across the field, or have to worry about stray bullets being fired and hitting the house. So hard no. But what Tim did bring to the table was the NRCS, the feds. And they do a lot of cost sharing. And again, willing to learn. It seemed good at the time. So we signed up with we did sign a contract and signed up with NRCS. As it turns out, it's not always as it seems. It wasn't a good fit with us with NRCS, especially with mom dealing with my father with his dementia, etc. They actually let us out of the contract. So now I'm back to square one. I actually lost a year with that. But I do know a lot of people in the industry. So now at this point, I started vetting logging contractors for the property. I vetted 3 big guys, by that I mean fully mechanized, and 3 little guys, cable skidder and chainsaw. Chose a big guy, actually, John White. John White is actually the one that did the cut for us. He's done a bunch of work here in Canterbury, and some of his stuck in my head was a posting on the Canterbury Facebook page of how clean his job was, almost somewhere up near Forest, Belmont border that way. But it stuck in my head. And what I did like about John is he does have 3 on staff foresters. That being said, we signed up with him. Did the cut this last, signed the contract June, July last year.
May.
Was it? Okay. May of last year, did the cut this winter. Perfect winter for it with the cold we had. Was fine. Very pleased with what he did, what he offers, what he's gonna do at the end. He offers a lot of services. That's not why we're here. The tax bill arrives. Okay. We owe taxes. We know that. There's no question. I'm looking at the tax bill, and I'm not the smartest guy out there, but I do like numbers. So out of curiosity, I took the PA8 form, the PA9 form. You guys probably have a copy of it. It's a highlighted one. Yep. Thank you. And just for my own curiosity, I put down, and you'll see my handwritten scroll there, the amount that we contracted with John White per 1,000 board feet, and that's the pencil line, if you will. And I figured up in the corner on yours, it probably says contracted amount. That is the amount we got paid per 1,000. So I went down there, and that is per contract. Mandy will attest to that. So let's go down that, and I start looking at it, I'm going, wow. We paid on 12 out of 15 line items more, or we are paying taxes on more than we got paid. As far as stumpage, as far as per 1,000. And in my eyes, that's not right. I think anybody here would probably agree. You're being taxed on money that you never made. It's right there in black and white. So that being said, not quite sure of the order of how this happened. Mom called the the town here, Mandy, I ended up talking to her and we discussed this a little bit. And I said, well, there's also the question of the road. Now, years ago, the logging contractor was responsible for the road. Now, the homeowner pays for the road. However, on the website, and it's common knowledge, on the DRA website, the road is allowed to be deducted from the stumpage. What I did, well, let me back up, I'm gonna do this a lot. Just to get the legal stuff out of the way, it was pointed out by the state that I can't really be talking about facts and figures because I don't have power of attorney. I do have power of attorney with respect to 228. So we are all legal. The town has a copy of my power of attorney. The state has a copy of my power of attorney. So, or I should say, Mom's power of attorney, from however you want to phrase that. Legally, I can talk about this. So I talked to Mandy about the road, what I had done when we signed the contract with John White, and I have the documents here if you wish to see it. When we signed the contract with John White, so there was no ambiguity, is I specifically pulled out the cost of the road. It's still in the contract, but we paid for it cash out of pocket, $7,000. I took that out of the contract, we paid for it with a check, so that it is black and white, there's no ambiguity as far as it being mixed in with stumpage or whatever, however it wanted to be phrased. We are out of pocket $7,000 for this road. In the big picture, that's relatively cheap considering in today's market. So now fast forward a little bit, I'm talking to Mandy about the road. She said, oh, the road is in the stumpage. I said, no, it is not. It is a separate line item. We have a canceled check, which will, prove it to you. And she goes, okay, well, I need to see a contract. I need to see your documents. No problem. Gave her the whole box. Full transparency. We had some more talk about that. And again, we visited that office 3 times. Mom and I visited that office 3 times. She came up with the phrase, well, I'm going to have to check with the state on this, a fellow by the name of Rick Evans. Now, don't know if any of you folks know Mr. Evans. He does not have homeowners' interests at heart. Mr. Evans, I'm talking. He is known for this. You can talk to anybody that's been in the logging industry, whether it's a logger or forester, for a long time. Sidebar, quick story I can give you about Mr. Evans. It has nothing to do with this, but to give you an idea of his MO. There was a cut similar to ours in Danbury, 2024. $80,000 cut. Now, 10% is industry standard timber tax, it's 10%. This cut was $80,000. The town assessed that cut, again, nothing to do with this, but again, I'm trying to make a point here as far as the state is concerned. The town of Danbury assessed that cut at $11,000 to the homeowner. Now, what is 10% of $80,000? It's $8,000 on the high end, is what that should have been. It was $3,000, it was $11,000. That homeowner reached out to Mr. Evans. His response, August should have paid you more. No relief. But that is, again, this is, you don't have to believe me. You can take it as hearsay, but that is his MO in this field. He just says things and goes forward. So Mandy consulted with Mr. Evans. Mandy then emails my mother a letter saying, well, I need to know what is the percentage of cut that you did on the property versus what is left. And I'm like, well, this is odd. Where is this coming from? But we have that. One thing we did get from the NRCS is a full forest report study. So I can glean how many board feet we had versus how many board feet that were cut. Just to cut through it, we cut approximately 60% of the standing timber.
marketable timber, I should say, and a lot of it was pulp, et cetera, but if you work the numbers on this PA9 versus what NRCS said we had, it's 60%, give or take, a very, very small percentage. So this was another meeting with Mandy in her office. This was last week. And she goes, okay, 60%. So there is, backing up again, and I apologize for this, when she initially said she was going to Rick Evans, one thing I asked her, and she did do it, one thing I did ask her, as I said, because I don't trust him, the reason I just made one of the stories I just said earlier, whatever comes out of his mouth, please back up with or have him back up with an RSA. End of story. I just want to see it in black and white. If it's in black and white, done. I'm happy. Again, moving forward, talking with Mandy in her office, she's talking about the 60% thing, which amounts out to $4,200 against the $7,000. And she goes, well, there's a percentage, blah, blah, blah. And I remember I actually pointed to the copy of the letter that was on the table. I said, did Rick Evans say that? And did you ask him if there's an RSA to back that up? If there is, I don't have a dog in the fight, and I understand that. There was a 10-second pause before she answered. And she goes, no. She goes, but the intent is there. Well, I intend to win megabucks tonight. Intent is not legally binding. Intent is not an RSA, the way I see it. I'm not a lawyer, but that's the way I see it. And then she continued to go forward with various scenarios on how we're going to get through this, and then the $4,200, et cetera. And she could sense that it wasn't really going well with me. And then she came up with, well, if I have a letter, and I'm kind of paraphrasing, if I have a letter stating that road will be totally removed, then I will deduct the $7,000 from the stumpage. We still haven't argued over or finalized this debacle yet. I didn't say anything. I agreed with her, said I can probably get you that letter. I got to thinking, where's the RSA that backs up that statement? And that would be, hopefully in your packet, the RFI number 1. Did you give them that?
No, I responded earlier today. Do you want me to?
No, did you give them a copy? I asked you to give them a copy of that RFI number 1 so that they would know.
No, I can read it aloud though if you like.
We've got the stumpage value one about the,
RFI is request for information.
Yeah, what I did, I'm sorry to interrupt. What I did with mandate, because it's a government thing, is I did an RFI number 1, request for information under 91 in Hampshire's right to know.
take them off of the break.
And I requested under RFI number 1, and I gave a rundown of what transpired, what I just told you folks. And then at the bottom, I asked for the town to produce the RFI, the RSA stating or backing up her statement of a letter is necessary to claim full value of the $7,000. And I don't know if I hadn't sent it to you, but what you sent me, none of that applies to what I asked.
Okay.
It doesn't apply, it nowhere in there does it mention road. And I looked at every single one of those things you said. And my question was, or the RFI was, what is the RSA that specifically involves roads? Needless to say, to cut through it, and I'm gonna save everybody a bunch of time, there is no RSA that says that please prove me wrong, there is no RSA that says that if you have a letter, you can deduct the full $7,000. This is a 2-part thing, so we can hopefully get to some kind of happy thing. Now, all during this, and Mom here, she's 86. With the way the town has been doing this, she kind of confided to me, and I'm sorry for saying this, that the way especially around the road and et cetera, she's feeling bullied. You know, with all this fabrication going on. And it is fabrication. But that being said, what I'm hoping is that we can come to a conclusion. In my perfect world, and I will open the floor to mom and obviously questions afterwards. In my perfect world, again, this is my world we're talking, on this PA9 form, we, the McGills, and you have this hand scrawl thing that I did?
I
Did you?
typed it up and I have copies.
Oh, they, you typed it. You could read my writing? In our perfect world, we would accept the towns that you guys have signed off on. Again, in defense of you people, you didn't know what you got paid for stumpage. The stumpage is within, that we were paid is within DRA market value. We accept the non-highlighted items that the town does. And we would pay what we were paid on the highlighted items as far as the full value of the stumpage, which is what we, to be taxed upon. And so like I said, there's two things here. There's a $7,000 road in question. And there's an overtaxing on stumpage value.
Can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
I'm not a logger, I'm a contractor.
Yeah.
If I give you a quote in May and you sign a contract with me in May, I have a clause in my contract that says, if the market value changes, you cover the cost.
Right.
So when you signed a contract in May, what were the timber values at the time that you signed the contract? Did they reflect the stumpage in this?
The same. The timber values, the state does, I believe, you should probably answer this, every 6 months, the state reevaluates, but they do not fluctuate. And that's too bad for the loggers, because they're getting paid the same amount for white pine now as they were 10 years ago, and that is nowhere to lie.
Well, it's all market driven, isn't it? If you've got a surplus of white pine, why would you pay top dollar for it if it's sitting in a log yard somewhere,
Yes,
right? You know, it's the same as a veneer log's gonna get you more money than
yeah.
firewood logs.
But the town actually, this is actually, that all things being equal, that's not fair to the town or the towns, because here, as you just pointed out, it's worth more, but the state lumps it all under red oak. There's no line item for veneer. And nor do they have a comparative stumpage value for veneer. The only thing the state does do, is they will delineate between red maple and white, let me back that up.
Yeah,
Red oak and white
okay.
oak. And the state will allow you to, they do differentiate those two, you have to dig for it, they use what they call comparative value. It's not on there, you won't find it on there, you have to go onto the website and find the comparative value. And they compare, white oak to ash, which I believe is 100 to 200, 1,000. Going from memory, don't exactly quote me on that. You know, another thing, actually another red flag immediately, when I think what prompted this for me to do what I did with this highlighting is knowing the industry the way I do. If you look down towards the bottom, the stumpage value, assessed stumpage value that the town is charging is $325.20 a thousand for 1,000 board feet of cherry. If you know, excuse me, please, if you know the lumber industry, and I'd like to think I do somewhat, in the town, that was an immediate red flag to me, because cherry right now in the woods is worth more than cordwood than it is as lumber. I did question Mandy on that initially. She pulled out a form that she got from the state, and yes, on that form it said 325 1,000. I didn't say anything at the time. I went home, I re-looked at the DRA website. I sent her a picture of it, and she agreed, and she did on a piece of paper somewhere. She changed her notes that were given to her, and she did, alter on another tax bill or a preliminary tax bill that. And I believe she did also, per my request, you probably didn't understand that, she did, break apart the red oak from the white oak, per my request, because they are taxed at different rates. So I guess my point in being here is, as I stated earlier, on the highlighted items, we would gladly pay what we got taxed, what we were paid. We would pay the tax on that, the full value, and we accept the other line items that the town has signed off on. And that's the end of my story. Mom. She I won't say gets confused, but that is the very wrong word.
It's a little overwhelming.
Thank you, that's the next statement.
Yes,
It's all overwhelming,
you
indeed.
get to be 86 years old.
Oh.
Go ahead,
No,
please.
I just-
Maybe,
I just had a question, if you can speak to the difference between your intent to cut and what you actually cut.
We went over.
Somewhat substantially in,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And as an oversight on the forester's part, he did not file supplemental.
okay, but we know now.
But you, at the end of the day, you're still getting paid per thousand, whether or not there was a supplemental filing.
Does that change the tax? Is there a penalty if you overcut your lot?
No, you had to file a supplemental, and it was an oversight on the forester's part.
Can I ask Mandy that?
Yeah.
Right.
Is there a penalty? So if you overcut,
There is not, your only penalty is you lose your right to appeal.
so then if you overcut, you technically can't be appealing right now.
Okay, that brings up another point. I don't have it. Yeah, it's in here. That's definitely open for discussion. Now, okay, let's talk about the right to appeal. The tax year ended for this, the state does weird tax things. This tax year ended March 31st. It's right on the top of that file. Okay,
Of 2025.
26. It's, if you just read the state's tax year went from April 1st, I apologize, you are correct. I'm a year off. The tax year, April 1st to 24 to March 31st, 2025. Now let's address the appeal thing. We didn't get the tax bill from the town, and you'll find it on the tax bill.
It's dated April 8th.
Dated April 8th. We did not get the tax bill from the town dated April 8th. She did not receive it till April 11th. The time frame had already expired for appeal. By the
Not-
time,
Not true. Sorry to interrupt you. By May 15th, your report is due, if you didn't ask for an extension, which you did not. I have the.
yeah, that's not what we're talking about though.
One thing she's saying, you still have the right to appeal if you did it within the window. Is that my understanding?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
So you can still file your supplemental
Right,
before the 15th. And that would give
but
you
by
the
the
right
time
to
we got the
appeal.
tax bill, it was already, the window was already closed for appeal.
She just said it wasn't.
No. 79.8 says appeal and abatement. Any owner within 90 days of the notice of tax can appeal to the assessing officials in writing for an abatement.
She'd have 90 days.
So
from
90
April
days from the 11th, when you received it,
From the time the bill was
received.
received, the final notice of tax.
So 90 days from the
So we can
11th.
still file for this abatement. Am I understanding that
No,
correctly?
you forfeited your right to an abatement, to an appeal, when you didn't comply with 7910, which says that at any moment that you started cutting over the intended amount, you shall file a supplemental intent to cut.
So where does that leave us?
so for me, I'm still confused, which numbers it seems to me, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a contractor, that you wanna cherry pick your numbers to your own advantage.
Wouldn't anybody else?
No, because there's
Yeah.
right and there's right and there's wrong and there's wrong. You're arguing with us the way that things work, right and wrong, because you're cherry picking numbers right now.
Where you have to agree it's wrong to overtax.
I also agree it's wrong to overcut and not file supplementals and then accuse the town of overtaxation.
You just said you're not a logger. How do you know when you're in the woods? And the.
Well, if you have a professional forester, they label the woods. I have a wood lot, it's been cut. They
Right.
label the woods, they tell you what comes in and out, and any good forester would monitor what's coming out. They keep a tally as they go.
The tallies aren't official until you get the mill slip. And we have all the mill slips, so you don't know the full tally. And those mill slips could be 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks behind based on the mill. So you don't know your full tally. A lot of the, you could bring a triaxle load, not a triaxle, but you could bring a tractor trailer load of lumber and they could reject the whole thing. They haven't, but it is a distinct possibility. So you do not know the tallies until you actually have the mill slips. So you know what you have in hand. And again, it was an oversight on the forester's part.
How much was overcut? Are we talking 10%?
The state allows you a 25% before you have to file.
That's only if you're bonded.
Okay,
Exceeds it.
but to be honest with you, I don't have that answer.
27%.
4 feet by 27%, tonnage by 152%.
There was a lot of pulp there, like I said.
Yeah.
But that pays nothing.
What you got paid for it is not the issue actually at the moment.
I'm just,
Yeah, sorry.
no worries.
Mandy, has anybody else ever come back at your timber tax? Like in this past, you cut in December?
December, January,
So
January.
was there other issues in this time frame with the costs?
With the stumpage values? No.
Yeah, I've never seen anyone try to cherry pick his numbers. Go with one or the other. I mean, we're not gonna sit here and cherry pick lower numbers to your advantage.
What's the difference in, do we know the difference in the tax?
I didn't calculate that because that is not standard procedure for
Yeah,
me
it's
to even
just, it's
consider
not
that.
done.
Well,
If you have,
but
if
you
you
did
have the
calculate,
contract,
you
if
did
have-
calculate with the contracted prices.
I did, yes.
So we know that.
Yeah, we know the contracted prices, we know what the property owner was paid in stumpage value. The timber tax is based on 10% of the stumpage value.
Yeah, so,
So if you determine the stumpage value to be fair market value,
Yeah.
you would assess it accordingly.
And
That's
if
what I'm
you-
trying to piece together, is that the
Take into
contract,
consideration the cost for the road.
like if you say you're gonna pay me 5, but it costs 7, or you're getting paid 7, isn't that a smart business move you're making 20% on me? I mean, I'm trying to figure out the differences to, I feel bad that you got paid less than the value
Do
is.
you have these?
No, I don't.
Those are the two calculations. So if you take out if you use the calculation that the state recommends with taking, if you've got you cut 60% and they take that out, 60% of the road
Road.
and you
But
delete
there's no
that.
RSA that supports that. The 60%.
According to the DRA, there is,
What is the RSA?
pardon me?
Yes,
Mandy, that was from Rick Evans, yes?
So there's,
he made that up.
I can't speak to that.
I can.
are we talking about the synopsis of the timber tax law?
Just the recommendation that the 60%, if the amount of the
So,
property that was cut.
right, so that's found in the synopsis of the timber tax law that's put out by the Department of Revenue. And that paper has been out long before Rick Evans.
I'd like to see that in RSA form. You could not show that to me. You said that was the
It
intent.
doesn't cite an RSA,
Thank you.
it is just the synopsis.
Yes,
Of
and
the
it's,
law.
it's analysis. Is a synopsis legally binding? That's an open question.
So even if we didn't go with the synopsis of that and we deducted the price of the road, make it the difference.
Maybe, is there, I don't know, I'm not familiar with the road thing. How does this work on other lots? Is it for roads on your property or is this a town road if it's not bonded?
Is to access the timber on your property,
It's to access the timber on the property.
on your property. You should have paid for a road on your timber lot unless you're doing it yourself.
We do it ourselves. It's all a discontinued road, all the landowners.
So the difference between taking out the entire road or just taking out the amount of the road 60% is $280. It's a
Difference.
difference. This with the entire road taken out versus this with 60% of the road taken out, the difference is $280. What you would owe in your timber tax.
What are you giving for a final figure?
2746.70 if the entire road is taken out. I mean, that's the 10% that's the total that you got paid for your timber minus 7,000 for the road. 77,466 and 99 cents, and 10% of that is that. Which is $280 different than that.
Let us use what you guys signed off on
Okay.
and stay with that figure. However, I would like, because I'm allowed to do it, if you are allowed to do it, I would like the adjustment for the cherry. We didn't have a lot of it, because that is just wrong. I think even Mandy would agree with that. And again, we didn't have a lot of it. You're talking several dollars. It's the principal.
Let me pause you right there. Mandy, the document I'm looking at says that Mr. McGill was paid $80,418.39. Is that right?
No, that
No, he was
Okay.
paid
84.
$84,466.99.
Ignore those
Too many
numbers.
versions floating
Yeah.
around.
Yes,
Alright, so he was paid $84,466.99.
correct.
Um,
And he has a receipt for a $7,000, they paid $7,000 for a road to go in.
okay,
So this is if you use the
60%. I
the
get that.
60% for the road, that's that number.
Okay,
And then if you take out the entire road, it's that number. And the
I
difference
understand.
between that and that is $280
gotcha. Okay.
for the town in
Alright.
taxes.
Alright, so you're willing to go with the 84,000 number, is that correct?
Which number is that?
The amounts you were paid, 84,466.99.
And you're deducting $7,000 off of that,
Yeah, I'm willing to do that.
which would make us at
77,466.99. So that means your tax is 77,46.70.
can we nickel and dime with the white oak and cherry?
No,
Stephen loves it, no.
I mean, honestly, we're fighting over $280.
It's the principal.
Well,
Oh, and you know why it's the principal, sir? And I'm sorry, I don't even know your name. You know why it's the principal? Because it was the pushback from the town on the road. And the bullying that Mom felt was taking place. That is why it's the
yeah,
principal.
so I'm gonna disagree with you. I don't think any bullying took place. I'm
You
sorry
weren't
that
there.
your boss perceived it.
Well, maybe I did, but.
Yeah,
She's
yeah, it's all how, I get that. I get that, but it's all how we perceive things.
Right.
I know everybody involved for a long time, so.
So the total tax is 77 and change, give or take?
Yep.
7,746.70.
Okay.
Done.
All right, done, thank you, both.
Thank you for saving me $280.
You're welcome. See you around town, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Good night.
Will you produce and send a new bill for that? How do you wanna handle this?
No, what I'll do is I will write up a, kind of an administrative warrant and have the selectman sign it
Okay.
and get it to Sam's office, and he'll basically almost put in like a credit on his side. So if you guys come in and pay the 77.46.70, he'll have the other amount sitting there as an abated amount, and it will zero out the bill.
So what was the figure that you, the first figure that, you want to check for Sam?
$7,746.70.
And then he'll credit us the
The
balance.
difference, yep.
All right,
All right?
thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Oh, Jackie. All right, it's somewhere in all this,
And I would just appreciate all the time,
bill if 50 cents too high.
the time you spent preparing all of this, because it makes it a lot easier to understand. Trying to make a decision when you have good information in front of you, so thank you, and for taking the time
Sorry,
this
it's kind
afternoon.
of last minute.
Well, no, but thank you you took time this afternoon to walk me through it, so I understood what was going on, which is the best way to
Always
make
appreciate
a,
it.
Alright.
a decision, so
Thanks,
thank you.
Mandy.
Is the road thing common?
So I mean, lots of people get a timber tax bill and they pay it and you never hear from them, and I don't necessarily know if it's within 10% of what they actually paid. If they wanna come in and supply the contract and the billing, the logging slips and any costs associated, then that's your best evidence, you should take it into consideration. But other than that, I mean, we just typically use the average stumpage values that the DRA establishes for us.
Because you're not, taxation wise, you're not obligated to tax at the stumpage fee that the contract is agreed to.
No. It is good evidence, so if that's why I utilize Rick Evans when I can, because I'm not a forester, the town doesn't hire a forester. So I will send stuff like that to him and say, they've supplied me with it, what do you think? You know, look it over and give me an opinion.
He's the guy at DRA, so he
He
knows.
sees almost every logging operation in the state of New Hampshire, so
I guess
I
I'm
mean,
just curious, like if a logger wants to pay you 20% less and they pocket the difference, who's the responsibility on? The consumer who's signing the contract?
well, when they file an intent to cut, and then you guys sign that intent to cut, they're telling you that they have an intent to cut their timber, you're telling them that they will get a timber tax from it. So I mean, it is on them, it is solely on them. They can absolutely have a lowball contract that they sign off on and lose their shirt over, it happens.
I'm just curious, that's what I was trying to connect on, is it our responsibility to
Yeah.
honor a contract, but at the same time, it's a business model, you make money, right?
Mhm.
So if the market stays stationary,
Yeah.
you just signed a low ball fee.
Yeah. It's like sales of property too, I mean, there's a lot more involved in it, and you're just trying to find
The median.
that median,
Yeah.
yeah, that's very accurate, so.
Yeah.
I have a couple other things, should I just stick around if there's any questions?
Yeah, a couple things before us, Mandy?
I don't know, what,
What are they?
I sent you that settlement agreement, the
Oh.
recommendation for settlement.
It's all in the please sign folder, so if you wanna go to those.
Oh, that's
That
good.
would get all questions here.
I figure while I'm here,
Yes, thank you. do it.
I still haven't taken my boots off yet.
Pass the welfare manifest, then
Beulah Fellowship,
there's like a whole stack of mini stuff
Okay.
after that.
including Beulah?
Yes,
Okay.
it starts with Beulah and
And then there's another timber tax one? Is that?
if you look at the
Agenda.
agenda,
Yeah.
it's
Start, yeah.
current use assessment all the way
Yeah.
down to elderly tax exemption, those are all handy.
Okay, alright, so, alright,
Start with the current use assessment, map 212, lot 6.
It should have been in order, the
alright,
top should have been,
is that Buell?
that is Beulah.
Okay, alright, let's start there and then we'll. Alright. Maybe you want, if you want, come on up.
I'll sit,
Yeah, have a seat.
I'll sit
Yeah.
at the table.
Alright, so I've got a, Buell Fellowship would like to enroll the back 11 acres into current use. Along with what appears to be a form asking to do that.
Yeah, there's nothing that says that they can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but have they paid us any money recently of anything that they owe us? So, what will putting that in current use, they will owe us
It won't
less,
do
they,
anything.
they're still not paying us?
It just lowers the
Correct.
tax burden in the future.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
It just lowers the amount that they're not paying us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, just wanted to make sure I know what's
Next year.
going on, next year, okay.
Something's blow.
Is Nathan Davis, is that a new person?
No.
No.
That's the
he's
same guy.
He's the
Yeah.
person that was
Okay,
in.
that was in the series. Okay. So you're recommending approval?
Yeah, there's really no reason why. When I met with Nathan Davis and visited the property
Yep.
2 years, whenever it was, yeah. Him and I actually had discussed that in
Okay.
an effort to save tax dollars, if they're recognizing that the property is now taxable, they have every right to apply for current use and receive it on the back
I'm
acreage
assuming
that
we'll
would.
just sign.
How many acres is it? 17?
Yes,
The whole piece of property is seven, only,
That was like 17 seats, less than 20.
yeah, cause I think they're putting 11 acres of the back land in. It says it on the second, or.
but it doesn't go, and nothing goes arrears, they still owe us what they owe us, and
Right.
it's
Still
just
owing
go.
what they owe, yeah.
Right, and yes, there
It'll
is
just, it'll just shave off some of the excess value.
But my bigger question would be, they came in to file this, but we haven't heard anything about them.
Correct.
No contact at all, so they knew how to find us to file this.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
And they didn't file the religious exemption this
they
year,
did not.
even though we reminded them last year.
Yeah,
File
no,
on time.
I don't wanna put words in their mouth, but they're recognizing that the property is not used or occupied for religious purposes.
Okay.
And you got a current address from them, this is still the address that we've been sending stuff, correct? Just wanted to make sure I understood all the, because it's not making sense, all the moving parts,
So
right?
how does this change?
Okay,
Exemption, if they were to reapply for it, would they have to be current on their tax bill to then get religious exemption again?
I don't think so.
Okay, so they can apply for it still
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we've had that happen. Yeah. I
yeah,
don't wanna
I
name
don't,
names, but we've had that happen.
but they would have to be proof that it would actually be used, I mean, the problem is now
they
that it
just have to
hasn't been
prove
used.
that it qualifies for a religious exemption.
Yeah.
Which is not happening, if no more maintenance has occurred on the
Yeah,
property.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm sure each of us, when we go by, we look and, there's no activity there.
I just wasn't sure
Will
if
this,
it was
will
zoning.
this eventually
You
come
don't
up to
use
meeting?
it,
Yes.
but you just how long it expires and what the
Yes.
process
Oh, that would be a
is.
whole other,
Okay.
that'd be a whole other question, is at what point, right, has the use expired and they would have to go back to zoning
Right,
to discuss it.
and if they have to go to zoning, is it just you apply as a religious exemption? I
Alright,
guess it's kind of fair for them.
Yeah, yeah, can we cross that bridge when we get?
Yeah.
okay, here's a notice of intent, talking about timber
Yep,
taxes.
alright, notice of intent to cut wood or timber for, lot, map 231, lot 1 and 2.
Okay.
Anything on that?
I don't even know who it is.
Oh, okay, McGraw, sorry, McGraw is the last name.
Oh, yeah.
Won't you
Yeah.
get it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Patty, yeah.
They're
Yes.
still
Yeah.
doing
I
work
did
there,
they-
but
Yeah, Porch.
They cut last year,
Yeah.
they had to close out, cause as of March 31st, the timber year closes, so even if you make a little of a cut,
You're gonna stop.
you gotta do it
you
again.
have to stop, you have to report on it,
Yeah.
and then you can file to start for the ongoing year.
Okay.
That's interesting.
But they can't cut in June and July, right? Cause of bans.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really?
some,
60-day stand down.
Good to
Yep.
know.
I did not know this.
ask me how I know.
How do you know? You have bats on your
Because of
No.
bats?
You're
I
batty.
was trying to replace a bridge for
Really?
the state and could not because it was bat season.
Well, I am-
Shut it all down.
I am very
Literally.
impressed to know that.
I didn't know.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Sorry,
we had to stop work, so.
bats were here first.
Yes, exactly. All right, Mandy, this is
That's
an
good to know.
original warrant yield tax levy for,
Same one.
same, yeah,
Yeah,
yep, same
it
thing.
is,
Okay.
yeah.
Anything on that?
No,
Okay. So we're
That's just
signing.
the first half of the project.
Oh, they've been in there 2 winters now.
Yeah.
That's a big cut.
All right, so 2 places to sign, it looks like.
It's got more than 300 acres up
I
there.
wanna go walk that road. I haven't yet. Used to walk it all the
It's
time.
beautiful out there.
Yeah, it is. It was.
I'm sure it still is.
It connects over to my place.
I know.
Really?
Skidder roads.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, and just 2 places,
Used
Cal,
to
looks
cut from
like.
there, you did the income out
Where
of the
is
baskets.
I see, yeah,
Beautiful.
that's what I'm going by.
Is there any rules?
The official blue Post-its.
This is why I was like, you gotta keep it.
I know,
real.
that's the fun.
When you see it in action.
Got a
It works for
persnickety
you, it works for
select board.
me.
No, we're like Pavlov's dogs. Blue sign, blue sign.
Although here's one with green, so.
Sure am blue.
Sorry.
Well, that's because it's, I think that one's initial only. So.
Yeah, you just have to initial it.
Yep, it's a green is for initials.
I learned something new.
That's,
What's purple?
Right.
Smiley faces.
yeah, you pick, what would you like Bertha to do?
I might have to come up with an instruction sheet.
Color coded instruction sheet.
Another policy.
Yeah.
Right. All right, this is definitely a Mandy. So this is a settlement recommendation for Mandy regarding all-purpose storage at 32 Hall Road, which
Yes,
is map 249, lot 16.
yes,
For the property tax year 2024.
yes.
Yes. All right.
All right, so Mandy tells us that she's reached an agreement and the property was assessed at $948,700 for the 2024 tax year. Taxpayer filed an abatement and subsequently appealed to the New Hampshire Board of Tax and Land Appeals, submitting an opinion of a value of $569,000.
Whoa.
We
So-
were way off. Well, I say we and the tax rep were way far apart from each other.
Yep,
So
Okay.
obviously, there was a big issue there that one of us wasn't getting.
But you've got it now.
He definitely sent me, I mean, he didn't give me the cleanest package that he could have, but he gave me rent rolls, income analysis, all of it. I definitely had to spend some time tearing it apart, but really and I had a feeling of this, what it really boiled down to in the end was as of April 1st, 2024, that property, structures were built, but they weren't fully leased yet. They were still in the process of leasing those. So it wasn't an unfinished construction issue, it was more of just like a lack of income producing. So
Oh.
his income analysis was stating that basically their business was in the red for that year. I was still stating, well, it has some value to it, I mean, you have structures there, you've put money into it, so you gotta get that back. So in the end, we did settle on a value of $775,000. And that is only for the 2024 tax year. Subsequent years after that, once the property was fully operational, They didn't appeal taxes. That property is now assessed at 1.45 maybe. Yeah.
Alright.
So it was just a lingering 2024 issue that
Okay, and did they pay the 2024 taxes?
they did.
They did, okay.
Yeah.
So do we owe them money?
You owe them, yes, you'll
Okay.
refund them the principal
Oh, yeah, so,
amount
yep,
plus 4%
yep,
annual interest.
total of $4,164.45.
Correct.
Okay. Questions?
Nope.
Okay,
Thank you.
so we need to sign.
Yeah.
That,
I see it.
that was a bit of calculating
Yes,
and negotiating.
yes.
Alright,
It ended
I
successfully.
now know my way around an income approach, which I don't do a lot of those because I work in rural Canterbury, so. But the more businesses that we get,
yeah, maybe it'll be
it's
covered.
probably gonna have to be
Yeah.
the way, so.
Yeah,
Well, it looks like a good compromise. It certainly wasn't. It was right.
Yeah,
pretty
considering
much.
where we both started
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
I mean,
You're the expert.
try.
Now you are. Chairs.
alright, and the next one is a gentleman who is was granted a disability exemption, tax exemption under RSA 72, looks like 37B, Mandy?
Sure.
Trying to make out the writing. And he now qualifies for an elderly exemption as he's over 65. So it's just asking us to initial.
Alright.
And not in addition to, it sort of replaces.
Yes, even my initials get it.
Calvin, you might be able to sign. If you wanna sign it,
I
well, I don't know who signed the original ones.
Bob Stinson.
Oh, okay, yeah. Those are kind of tough because the application itself is a permanent application.
Oh,
So technically, that property owner files that application and then any credit or exemption they continue to qualify for, you just edit I mean, I suppose I probably could have made him fill out a new one, but they already have it on file. It shows good history that, you can look at that and see that he's received an exemption since, I don't even know the date, 2007 or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Alright. Next is look at this,
Agreed.
town center sign placement.
And it's not.
Yes, no, it's not. That is me.
Randy,
Bye,
thank
nice
you
meeting
again.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Nancy.
your support.
Alright, so this is from the farmer's market, for the weekly farmer's market.
Oh, I didn't do one for the winter farmers market, but I can do that again in the winter.
Reapply.
That's right. Alright.
And I had Julie, I realized it was kind of silly for me
Yeah.
to sign the thing,
Yeah.
but Julie signed it as the market manager.
Is there a design of the sign?
Yes, there
Yes,
is.
there is.
I followed the directions.
Date the approval expires.
So you can say that it's good for a few years if you want. So if you just put a year, then you don't have to do this again for a while.
How's 2028 seem reasonable?
My term's up then, perfect.
This is our 20th year. Can't we make it for another 20? Do I get to sign this or do I have to recuse myself?
I already recused.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
I already signed that part.
Yeah.
Well, there's our sign. It's not in
Sign.
color, but it'll look like carrots and things.
That's all.
It's gonna be tidier than that one. That was a quarter sheet of plywood and I shrunk the picture down.
Alright. All right, I'm gonna work my way to the bottom and then start back up at the top, so, just so somebody knows what I'm up to. All right, so this is a appointment slip for Joshua Marshall, excuse me, to the Ag Commission for a 3-year term.
It would be nice, I mean, we talked about this before, if we could get something from the Ag Commission saying who this person is and why they want them, because
Well, they have no chair right now.
I know, but I don't,
And he's reappointed. Still, I understand, but.
is he a reappointment? He's
Yes,
been on the
yeah,
Ag
he's the
Commission?
treasurer right now.
Oh, okay. I don't know that, so thank you. As their board of, their
Good
rep,
information, yeah.
alright?
He's a nice guy, trust me.
Okay, well, no, that's, I don't know him, so,
You can't know everybody in town.
I can't. I try really hard, but,
That comment does work for the next one, because
I was just
Okay.
gonna say that, I think everybody,
I know Jess.
yep. All right, so next is, right, Jessica Scanlon, Ag Commission alternate,
Yes.
for a 3-year term.
You recommend?
I suppose.
Okay.
They're losing numbers quick, so a body's a body.
All right, those are done.
So talking about Ag Commission should come under old business or new business? Not at this time, because we're still signing.
Right.
Okay.
There you go, sir, thank you. All right, next is a accounts payable manifest in the amount of $844,957.45.
There's a school payment and a check for the new dump truck, which is ready.
Ooh, really? Wow.
Yes.
School and.
They do a design competition, who wants to paint.
I will,
Yeah.
so moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, there's that.
Among the other things, those were the big ones.
Those were some biggies, yeah.
Did you test the hydraulics on it? Did you get a chance to go through it?
This is the new
Dump
dump truck.
Oh, it's just a truck, it's not the
This
hydraulics.
is, this is the dump truck
Oh, geez.
to replace, so they got the plow, the spreader and all that stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about the Packer when appropriate, yes.
Yes, yeah.
I'm sure you, yeah.
Bring us up to speed on it.
Yep, I knew you were going to. All right, next is probably a payroll, manifest in the amount of $58,209.49.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
You're moving the welfare manifest, just so you know.
Nah.
Yes? I'm not.
Have a battle of wills.
Over.
Everybody has a role. I sit in the end.
It's because you're at the end.
Yeah, I don't think I seconded for at least a couple of years, so I wasn't,
What?
not really. All right, last item is a welfare manifest, in the amount of $280. And it looks like it's a check to Eversource. I don't know if you wanna add anything, Cal? I don't think there's much to say about it, so. I'll move it.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye. Good job.
All right. That.
You're done for the day.
All right, why don't we turn our attention to previous minutes?
Alrighty.
Let's start with the April 2026 public. Cal, have you got anything?
Yes, so I think I printed out copies,
Have these?
put it in all of your files, with the suggested changes.
Your agenda.
Oh, yes, okay. April 20th. Yep.
If you want, you can use
Yeah.
this.
Thank you. It's probably in with all the other.
So for the April 20th one, on line 217, it's got the current is the Conservation Commission is looking into a new machine that's supposed to be able to mechanically remove knotweed. Just correcting that to in past discussion, the Conservation Commission has mentioned a new machine.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not looking to buy this machine, they just,
Yeah.
they're just, they know it exists, they've discussed it.
Understood.
And then line 226, both Beths went to the battery storage workshop, we didn't have much helpful info explaining that it's Beth Blair and Beth McGowan. And then it didn't have much info that was currently useful to Canterbury.
There was a lot of useful information, just not for us.
Yeah, relevant to our
Um,
particular.
Then for line 232, Beth will act as guinea pig for it and they will publicize the process, just clarifying that she'll be the guinea pig for the process and they'll publicize the step-by-step instructions.
Yeah.
And then 248, just clarifying that the church I'm referring to is Canterbury United Community Church in the center, because in the very sentence before that, I talked about the Shaker Village and
Gotcha.
one is like,
Clarity.
it's not
Yeah,
their church.
okay. All right.
That's
that
it
was
for that.
All right, does anybody have anything else for the April 20th?
No, I think I had quite enough to say.
Yes. All good. All right, so I'll move the minutes as amended.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Turning our attention to the April 27th.
So for the April 27th on line 19, changing it to be specified it's electric pump retrofit and then basically just adding on to the end that do some electrical work at the transfer station for an electrical disconnect so the truck cannot be driven away while the pump is still plugged in. Just explaining
What an electrical disconnect is.
for.
Makes sense?
And then line 27 and 28, changing it from Ken reviewed and Ken suggested to the board reviewed and it was suggested because I guess in the conversation, everybody was kind of in agreement and everybody was talking about this and reviewing it. And so just clarifying that it's not that Ken is sitting there telling you guys what to do.
Yeah.
Correct.
Understood.
And then line 35, this is a bigger change. It's adding a sentence about what Canterbury currently has. So it adds Canterbury currently has a full-time chief, 2 full-time and 1 part-time officers. Then later it's changing or it's adding in that the chief feels that unless there's unprecedented, and this is wrong. It's not 5 years, it's 30. So the chief feels that unless there's unprecedented growth, this staffing should cover the town's needs for
30.
30
I saw that
years.
when I'm glad you took
Gotcha.
that.
And then, no, that's it. It's just insert those 2 sentences.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was kind of a little grammatical. It was just a run-on sentence, but.
Gotcha.
And then line 43, it says annual evaluations are completed also, just changing that to evaluations are completed annually and will be considered as part of any additional salary increases. This is one where, in the note that Beth gave me, you weren't 100% sure. You wanted to just confirm with everybody that is what was
What we
talked about.
said,
Yeah.
because I wasn't sure and I wanted to make sure that
That
that's,
sounds like.
that was the discussion we had.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great, then
Okay.
that's it for that one.
All right, anybody have anything else on those minutes?
No.
All right, then we'll move them as amended.
I will second that.
All those in favor? Aye?
Aye. Thank you again, as always, Carol, for excellent minutes. You have spoiled me most vigorously. I'm a pain on every other committee on which I sit now. Give the minutes.
Just look out for those run-on sentences.
That's
Right. All right.
That was
Take them there. All right, new business, NHMA legal inquiries authorization.
Yeah, I sent you guys an email with this today.
Yep.
I just wanted you guys to understand that at this point, any I guess official town or town official can contact NHMA and they will give them legal opinion on a question.
Yep.
There can be restrictions put on that if you so choose, or additions that any conversations can be CC'd to either yourself, myself, or somebody else. It was just a really more of so you know that there is the ability to restrict that information or put additional people on those emails.
Yeah.
I don't have any suggestions at this time. I think that we haven't had any problems with people contacting NHMA Legal.
No.
It's free.
I mean, most of it comes up, like if I contact, I usually say, look, I checked with an HMA legal or whatever, but, and they are also so clear when you go for any advice that this is not, we are not giving you legal counsel, we'll direct you towards the information,
Yeah.
whatever, so I have a problem with any of us calling,
Okay.
reaching out to them for information to do.
Yeah. Okay, then let's leave it as is, okay?
And it's free, which is
Right,
also
which
very
is
nice.
also-
And it's not the same as going to Mike Courtney every 5 minutes.
Yeah. All right, next is legislative letters.
In your new business folder, oh, you've got the two.
Yep, I
So-
anticipated.
One of them is just an FYI from Ruth Heath from the
Yep.
Energy Committee. This is something that you had already discussed previously, but she just gave us a copy of what she actually put for testimony for House Bill something or another.
Yep, House
That's when
Bill,
Jeremy Whaley went
Yeah.
and testified
Senate Bill 538.
about net metering.
Right, that is correct. So I'm glad she was able to testify.
And then the other piece of paper is the latest legislative bulletin from NHMA. They are requesting that municipalities weigh in on some of the planning and zoning and local control stuff that's happening. I guess Thursday they're gonna be talking about it. So I just wanted to bring this here in case you wanted to do a letter about it or.
So I actually read this when it came this afternoon, I think it was. And I think that we should certainly oppose all of them.
That came this afternoon?
It did at 3:00, I think.
Oh.
3:04.
Oh, okay.
3:04 p.m. Do you guys have copies of?
I can pull it up.
Okay.
301 from Marty Carlin. Oh, yes, the
that's correct.
legislative alerts, 3 land use and zoning bills set to be acted on. Do you wanna read it bigger or do you have a copy?
I'm good, I got
Okay.
good eyes still.
Okay.
I eat my carrots.
Residential development and commercial. So, okay. Exempts, residential. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to get a diagram for these.
Beth, these were the same ones brought up at the local officials workshop when they did the legislative update.
Oh,
So
okay, that's
if
why
you
they
wanna-
sound familiar.
Yes, if you
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
already looked at those and processed them, then those are the same,
Okay.
same bills.
And at that time, NHMA was speaking against them.
Still is.
I would trust their judgment on that.
Agreed.
But how would House Bill 1588 affect our current?
Well, isn't there,
Mm,
I mean, exit 18 is a prime example of it, right?
correct.
so it would prohibit residential development in the commercial zone, so it would have, so we would not have been able to do.
Right,
Exit
that's my understanding.
So I would say we would definitely want to oppose that because that's a good development.
I'm just saying if something like this were to pass, do we have to go back and reassess our?
No.
No, because it's,
That would be
Because it's pre-existing,
Yeah.
It's pre-existing.
okay.
By the time if everybody figures this out, the buildings will be up.
No, I just meant like, do we have to readdress
Oh,
our
Your zoning. Our zoning should comply with state law.
Okay,
That's the amendments, zoning amendments this year address that. Where they updated to comply with state law.
so it would effectively eliminate mixed use zoning in commercial,
sounds like it.
or I should say residential mixed use.
right, residential development.
Residential.
But isn't that the essence of mixed use? I mean, you don't have mixed, or do you have mixed commercial use? I think of mixed use as residential and commercial together, shops,
But you could
apartments or
do-
whatever.
would be commercial and industrial, I guess, beyond.
Commercial, agricultural.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
and next could be
I was
anything.
just curious, cause a lot of this commercial statewide doesn't get commercially developed, you would think a good use of the land, or the responsible use would be residential housing.
Well, we'll see if they ever get around to changing the zoning on the stuff down on Whitney Road, that the property that they just finally sold
Mhm.
for the compact.
yeah, that will be interesting to see. All right, so what is the board's pleasure then?
So if we choose to support their opposition, how do we do
That would
that?
be
Contact their local senator?
I could write a letter.
Yeah, that's
I
what I
think
was
so.
And then
gonna
have them sign
suggest. Yep,
But
That's before Thursday?
it. Yeah, so I'll write the letter tomorrow morning and then.
We could
text
just
you,
come through
Just say, come in.
come in and sign it.
okay,
Right,
Yeah.
or sign. I only need two of the three, so if,
Was Sam open late?
yeah,
Like,
Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, I can
Tomorrow
sneak
night.
in late if you could leave it with Sam.
I can do
There
it.
you go.
Right.
All right,
I'll be in.
okay, good. All right, moving on to annual class 6 road inspection report.
Yes, I think you guys get copies in your folders.
Yes, you did.
Lambert has passable potholes, not good potholes, just passable potholes.
It's passable, but it's got potholes.
I found some.
That makes more sense.
There we go, got it, thank you.
John said none of these are emergent, although he said that Hancock Road is getting close to needing a lot of work.
Yeah.
One of the issues there is the beavers are plugging up the culverts, the people that own the road are trying to take care of it, and the beavers are winning. So it's just something our highway department deals with on Scales Road and others. And the difference is our highway department is full-time and
Yeah.
they have equipment and everything to do it, and the residents are trying to do it as best they can.
Right.
So
How many-
sometimes the road,
2 houses?
Two houses.
Yeah, that's what I
yes.
asked, yeah.
But the hill is getting a little washboardy.
Yeah.
When you start down over the hill.
Yep, the usual spot,
Yes.
it was,
Yep.
yeah.
He said that out of all the roads, that one is probably gonna be the one that's going to need work at some point in the near future.
How does that work as a town? Do we send a letter or does it?
We would send a letter, yes,
Yeah.
because they sign road waivers.
Right,
Yep.
So we would send a letter reminding them they signed road waivers, what the conditions of the road improvement agreement was, and that we would ask them to do some work.
there's no fine process or, okay.
We try to be as helpful as possible and just remind them and work with them if we can.
Can we do beaver relocation?
Pardon me?
Beaver relocation?
I can relocate it
That's
for you.
that's up
Not
to
into your freezer.
that's up to the people that maintain the road.
You can't suggest.
I cannot.
So beaver pond, right?
We did have a town resident that was attacked by a beaver last week, seriously.
Like,
Sure, I
Kayaking.
saw the photos. This guy sustained, like, he had to go to the hospital and get treated.
Was it a rabid beaver?
No,
Oh, the tail,
but
probably.
he did have to go through the rabies, so it's a long story, yeah.
You can,
Was it on land or water?
Land,
I'm not sure I can hear that story,
Oh, I do, I wanna hear it later.
because that's fun.
alright,
Is the guys at the hospital, is the beaver okay?
beaver's fine.
Okay, just checking.
You gotta say,
It's like the rabbit on bowling bike.
Exactly, yeah. Beaver 1, resident 0. Just simple as it gets, I guess.
That's fine.
where is Dean Road?
Dean Road is-
Sure.
Oh, Soapstone.
What's Soapstone?
Yeah, where
Is
is
that
that?
down off Wilson?
Tombstone? Yes,
Oh, it's the one that runs to the left there.
correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Is it at the very end? Like,
Yeah.
past
You
the
go
start?
down Wilson and
T.
you got the T, you
Oh,
go
okay.
left.
Oh, I didn't know that was the name.
Yeah,
We,
there you go.
you know, to be honest with you, and I've been on it a couple of times.
That came up, we had an issue with that last year at some point. Where it connected through, but anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, old business, Sam Lake House tree replacement.
Yes. I forwarded you the email
Yep.
from Kevin
As a
Bragg.
reminder,
And I'm hoping that you guys have come to a decision on what you'd like to plant there.
I know what I'd like to plant there. I'd like to plant the tree that he recommended that go next to the cemetery that he couldn't get, the serviceberry, because that sounded beautiful. But that's just me, because it's
Don't get very
blooming.
big,
No?
yeah,
25 feet maybe?
Yeah, but they're beautiful and they bloom and that's good for pollinators and berries.
yeah,
But I don't have any other, I'm not adverse to anything except the giant expensive Liberty elm.
right,
Does
which I
not seem appropriate there
believe
at
we're
all.
all in agreement on
That,
that.
that was a kind of a done deal, you weren't gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. I certainly would have no objection to a serviceberry tree.
I know he had a trouble finding
What's
it.
the lifespan of one of them?
Well, it was long enough that he recommended that we put it next to the cemetery, so it's not.
Well, they're like an apple tree, right? 100 years? That'd be right. I'm not protesting. I'm not a tree snob. I just didn't know if you want something that's gonna be 200-300 years or 100 years and dig her up and replace it. It's gonna be gone long after me, so.
Hold on. It was serviceberry that he had recommended.
Yes.
Yeah. Tiny little blueberries.
60 years. Serviceberry trees generally live 30 to 60. Medium lives small. Well-maintained specimens can live 40 years or more. 50 to 60 years is possible in ideal
Just
condition.
see how big it gets.
Like 20, 25.
But that's not,
6 to 25 feet tall. What did he say, serviceberry? Because that seems awfully small for the spot next to the cemetery.
It's similar to like a cherry tree.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
popular
same
in landscaping
lifespan.
because they are small, provide food for birds, and are native to many regions.
yeah, which honestly, well, for that location, it's small,
Not bad.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
think
don't
it'd
want
be
it too
pretty.
big to grow up and then
That's-
fall over on the garage.
If we
or-
put one in and then 5 years later we put a second one, then when the first one goes, we'll have kind of like
Succession planning.
succession planning and serviceberry. I think that'd be
Planting.
pretty there.
I will talk to Kevin about that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, works for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I can't help the beaver, but I can help the local pollinators.
97, we can replace it again.
All right, police department report.
Yes, we met last week,
Yep.
went over the report, I met with the police chief today. He had some questions, it would probably be better to go in an executive session. So if we're gonna do that, I do have some other things that we should talk about first.
Okay.
Yeah, including the septic system agreement, or,
Correct.
yeah, okay, why don't we go to that and then we'll save police department report for the last time.
So the septic system agreement update, Scott and I have met with the church and the store. We asked some questions, we're waiting for some information. We've had a couple emails go back and forth. Scott and I talked this morning because of the latest email from the store. And we're gonna set up a meeting with the chair of the planning board
Okay.
to discuss compliance with zoning of what's intended at the store. Scott brought up a good point. The select board should not sign any kind of agreement unless it's clarity on that the building will, or the use will be
I
compliant with.
agree with that 100%. Yeah,
So
absolutely.
we're gonna meet with the chair and planning board to discuss compliance and try and keep moving along with this.
Good, I think like everything, and we've got several issues that have come up lately
Mhm.
where, you go kind of sort of know what's going on, but it's not clear. And I think that the clarity can only help us and going forward.
And whoever comes after us.
Yeah, especially who comes after us. Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing that I mentioned with Ken, the more I think about it, the more I think it's a good idea, is we should, I think with both the church and the LLC, specify, and we could go one of two ways, either things we don't want into the drain or things that we do want into the drain, which is, I'm thinking cleaners, solvents, et cetera.
As a not.
Correct. There are certain chemicals that will just kill that leach field. And we don't want that, obviously. So I think that, as we go down the road of trying to forge a better agreement between the three parties, that's one of the things we should consider.
Is there a way to do that without, I mean, how do you,
Well, I think we can call out, it may be easier to just call out what we want them to use. In other words, I don't think it has to be brand name, but I think it has to be.
biodegradable cleaner as opposed to anything?
Exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking.
What was the church's standpoint on all of it with, did they make any notion that they were gonna expand the childcare or the use of the parish house or anything that would
No,
change their
so-
water usage?
Right, my understanding from them is that the daycare is not operating at capacity now. The capacity went from 22 to 29.
Okay.
Without notice to the town. And that obviously was a concern as we spoke with them. But there are no plans for expansion at this point. And I don't know, it sounds like their daily kid count, if you will.
They've got like 8
Enrollment
now.
is-
8 or
yes,
10,
is
somewhere in there.
considerably lower than what they're licensed
Yeah.
for.
Yeah, and the one, whoever, and probably it was Ken, the best thing that was done was the metering of usage. And certainly we want that to continue in perpetuity as far as I'm concerned, because it is the most accurate way of monitoring who's doing what. And I think we should certainly continue to insist as part of the agreement that
We
be
did,
done.
after looking at the meter, we did suggest to the church that in July and August last year, their use went up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And after some thought about it and some discussion, pretty sure they had put in a misting system on the playground.
Yeah,
And the suggestion was that they put a separate meter on the Silcock where they get that water out of. And we can deduct that from the use that goes into the leach bed.
oh,
They
it does not get it going into the leach bed, it's just going in on the ground?
It's going on
Oh,
the
okay.
correct.
But they didn't want more gallons, were they willing to
No.
cede gallons, their status quo?
Yes.
Okay.
No, so, honestly, so far, I think that, we're proceeding in a good direction.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking and that's all we can ask.
And their water's coming out of their own
Well,
well.
Correct.
We don't have any, I mean, we keep talking about the water that's going into the septic. Do we have any concerns about how much is coming out of the well? I mean, I know it's not a dug well, but is there
oh, their well?
of the well, is it one well for the store and the town offices?
The well at the Sam Lake House feeds this building, Sam Lake House, this building, the library, the town hall, and the church.
Church building,
The church building itself.
okay, and the church The
The
parish
parish
house
house has its own well,
and the,
and the store has its own well.
really,
Yes.
still a lot of wells in one little aquifer.
Can we still get water in the basement?
Right.
Yes, I was gonna say there's one, the floor's on the cost.
Yes, that is.
Alright, so the wells are staying full, okay.
Yes.
And I'm sure part of the discussion will be things like, how many washing machines are you putting in and are you adding bathrooms and
Discuss washing machines, bathrooms,
Bedrooms.
bedrooms? That's a hugie because there's one person in there now, but come on.
No.
They just moved in, right?
Correct, new
Yeah.
tenant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I saw you haul the
Yeah.
other day.
And I think if once we figure out, again, can get a clear answer on what the use is going to be at the store.
Yes, agreed. And that's the, I wanna phrase this carefully. I wanna make sure as we proceed forward, that what happens in that store is what we're being told is gonna happen.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then the store reopening is gonna get delayed until this is resolved?
Yes.
No?
No. No,
Well, I didn't know if it had to go to planning, if they had to change the use.
Well, why wouldn't it be delayed? Because
They- well-
they need to know what they're doing. We need to know what they're doing. They haven't.
And they have been encouraged to go to the planning board, and that's why Scott and I are gonna meet with the planning board chair to try
Okay.
and see if there's an opinion that there may be a change of use, and if there is, I think we'll pass that on to the LLC.
Okay. Alrighty.
all right, other old business or new business, I suppose.
Other old business, the Packer update, we're waiting for scheduling for the electric hydraulic pump to be put in. We have a quote, it's $12,000 and change to do the work. We had budgeted for $20,000, so we're under budget on that. That 12,000 and change does not include the electrical work that's gonna have to be put in the building. We'll have to set up a separate outlet for that. For that.
A separate what for that?
Outlet,
And
well,
can that,
disconnect is what
can
it's
that
called.
come from the 20 that we budgeted for the?
Correct.
It's all part of it. Okay.
Yeah, we budgeted $170,000
Yeah.
for the total project. The truck itself with the trade-in of the old Packer was $117,000. And then we add the 12,000, so I guess it's almost 13,000 to that for the hydraulic work. And then I mean, I can't imagine there's more than a couple $1,000.
I didn't know if because
We're
of the
gonna way over
wording,
budget.
since we said Packer truck and hydraulics, if we needed work on the building, if that counts.
That'll be.
That's all part of
it.
Okay, fine.
Part of the project, yeah.
Good?
The other update I have is on the energy audit at the municipal building.
Hmm.
I had a phone call late this afternoon from Turncycle that said that there are no incentives from Unitil on HVAC.
Really?
So, I contacted Turncycle and said, okay, but could you still send me the audit? Because we wanna know what you suggest we do.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping that he emails me or calls and does that.
And did any of the information from Sarah Brock on New Hampshire Saves or New Hampshire Clean Energy, she didn't have any additional information on any incentives?
I don't know. Turncycle is the one that contacted Unitil. That's why we haven't gotten it. I talked to them last week and said, asked them why, when are we gonna get the report? And they said they had delivered everything to the utilities and were waiting for replies back from them on any incentives. And so today there are no incentives. So,
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Sarah seemed to think there were so many available, I guess it must have been who knows what it was for, but. Okay,
All right,
which still doesn't mean it's not worth it doing it, we just don't have.
pardon me?
It still doesn't mean it might not be worth doing the heat pumps.
Depends on what the
Yeah.
audit says.
Alright,
And the light project, the LED replacement project is gonna be meeting this Thursday with the contractor to look at the building, at the municipal building. We're replacing all the lights in the offices. Meeting with the contractor this Thursday to look at the building, so they can schedule their work there.
okay, great. Oh, and thank you, speaking of LED lights, the one light that was out in the town hall is on again, so thank you.
very good.
Yes, I don't know if you noticed, but 2 of the lights are very bright.
Yes.
The rest of them are not so.
I did notice.
I
But they're on.
thought, well, I have one really bright bulb And I don't want, well, I had two really bright bulbs, I thought, well, let's make at least two of them the same.
Thank you, thank you. If they're matching and it's
Yes.
good,
Yep.
very good. All right, thank you.
And we did get an email that, the, gas company.
Yep.
Whatever the gas company is.
Our propane company?
No, natural gas that goes to Tilton, up Shaker Road.
Oh, yeah.
They have put a, limit on building, or connections, I guess. They are not making any new connections on that gas line, north of Concord.
Wow,
They do not have capacity at this point, so, they
Liberty.
are going to be, it's really more the Tilton area. They're not gonna do any more connections really north of Canterbury, Belmont. It's the Tilton area, exit 21. They, are gonna be replacing, the email said, in the summer of '26, they are gonna be working on increasing the size of the pipe. They did it all the way up 106 last year and over on Shaker Road
Yep.
to the Canterbury Town line. And it sounds like they're gonna be working on Shaker Road all the way up to Tilton this year, this summer.
Big project.
So, I know,
But until they're done, nobody else can hook on.
correct, that, they said some kind of moratorium, but I'm not sure when.
It's Liberty Utilities.
Liberty Utilities, thank you. John had put off paving
Yeah,
Shaker Road because he knew they were gonna be doing something at some point. So it sounds like this year, so my guess is next year we'll be paving a section of Shaker Road.
that'll make Art very happy.
Yes.
The racetrack opens again.
Right.
All
Yeah.
right, okay,
I think that's it for old business updates.
Okay.
okay.
So I think, if you guys want, it's 8:00, if you wanna go into executive session.
Yeah.
please.
Yeah, but
Alright.
we've probably this long, let's go over. All right, so I'll make